So building a website from scratch and redesigning a website is completely different things. Building a website from scratch requires you to only base yourself on the universal design conventions and just on your own skill. And usually you don't have any existing data to base yourself on to create the design and develop it. You have just your knowledge and your past experience. Redesigning a website, however, is different because your client already has some history on their website. They have some data and some metrics about their audience that are browsing the website. So don't do the mistake of thinking that those two are the same. There are 4 metrics that you have to look at to know the current status of the website before moving forward with the migration. And keep watching until the end to learn more about the 4 metrics that you need to know about. So number 1, it's the bounce rate. It's the percentage of people that land on your website and then leave it. And the reason why this metric is so important is because it's gonna tell you if the users find the information that they came for. If the user doesn't find any information that is appropriate for them, they're gonna leave. So this is what the bounce rate tells us. The second metric is the average time the user spends on the page. The reason why it's important is because we need to know if the user actually takes the time to read the content. Maybe they land on it, but then if they don't read it, then what's the point of that page? So we need to make sure that approximately if a blog is taking 2 minutes to read, if the user stays less than 2 minutes, maybe like 10 seconds, then we know they didn't read the blog. Maybe they read the title and they left right away. So that's why the average time on page is very useful for us. So the metric number 3 is pretty simple. It's page views. Why? Well, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just how many people have landed on that page, and that's pretty much it. But we need to know that because we need to know how many people actually browse the website and land on that page. That's very useful information. If there is not enough people viewing that page, for example, there is only 2 people and on the average traffic on the whole website is like 100 people, then maybe that page is not even crucial. Maybe there is no point investing your time in redesigning or redeveloping that page and improving it, because at the end of the day, nobody cares about it. So that's why that metric, the page views, are important. Before I reveal the 4th metric, subscribe and like this video if you're enjoying and you get some pretty good value. So the 4th metric is unique page views. It basically reviews how many times a page was viewed in a one session. So for example, the past metric, the page views, it's recording every single time somebody lands on it. So every single time somebody lands on it, it increases by 1. However, unique page views is focusing on the one particular session, meaning that if one customer goes back to the same page many times, for example, five times, the unique page views will count it, and it will basically say, okay, so every single customer goes to that same page 3 times in one session. Maybe this means that they're coming back to see some crucial information before making a decision. This can mean many things, and that's also very important for us. And I'll also throw a bonus one out there, which is basically the devices. By knowing on which device users are browsing your website on, you know also where to maximize your efforts. If you know that almost no users are browsing your website on mobile, then maybe don't focus all your energy on optimizing it for mobile so that it has like the wonderful experience ever. If 5% of your traffic is on mobile, then you know it's you know that the priorities should be on desktop and vice versa. So knowing on which devices your users are browsing your website on is also pretty helpful. So now that you know all those metrics, when you redesign the website, you know what you have to redesign. So if you wouldn't have looked at all those metrics, you would basically redesign blindly and be like, okay, well, I want to keep that section, I want to keep that section, I want to keep that layout. Well, just change the colors here and that's it. Well, you'll just go on this type of process that is not backed up by any data. However, by looking at the data, now you know what to change, you know what to edit, you know what exactly needs to be redesigned. Because now that we have this information, we know that certain pages might need to be smaller, meaning shorter. Certain pages might need to have more information on them because some people always come back to check on that page. Maybe they're not satisfied with the information they get. So now you at least know what needs to be improved. And maybe some pages needs to be removed as well in the redesign. Maybe also the section needs to be improved in terms of CTAs. Maybe CTAs are not getting clicked enough on those pages. But by looking at those metrics I just showed you today, you'll have a better idea of the user behavior on that website. Therefore, you can already improve that website once you're gonna redesign it. So now that you know all those metrics, leave a like, follow this channel if it helped you just a little bit, and I'll see you in the next video.